Hey YouTube, this is Paik for Life. We're back with Chatterday. It's been a while. Thanks for being patient with me, and we'll go into why that is. But wanted to start off Chatterday Season 1, Episode 11. It's Return of the Paik. I spent a lot of time recreating this Return of the Jedi font. I'm not gonna lie. I spent like an hour trying to find the right font and positioning it so it's just right. So I hope you guys appreciate that. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, first, oh man, does it not do animations? Oh man, hold on. All right, I'll have to do it a different way. Give me a second. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started with guest tech specs. So guest tech specs is always our first segment. It's just an opportunity for each of our guests to let us know why they're here, who they are, and just say hi to everyone. So why don't we start off with you, Razerwire? You're new, or I guess we can just call you Ron too, whatever you prefer.
This Ron's fine.
All right, cool. So go ahead, Ron. Let us know why you're here and what your interest is in joining the Lego Chatterday.
Well, actually, my interest is pretty much everything. But Lego is a part of that, I guess. Growing up as a kid, I always had sets, and but I didn't really start buying to collect until I think it was the first Star Wars series, which is back. I guess it was back in college, but yeah, Henry here invited me to this Chatterday thing, and this is my first time doing it, so hopefully could be a commonplace thing, and we'll see how it goes from there.
Actually, funny thing is, I posted in my Discord hey, I wanted to do a Lego one, and I was like, anybody is interested? And Chad is our also he was on a previous episode. He was the one that was like, yo, you got to hit up Ron, because I was like, oh yeah, Ron, and we'll get into Ron. Ron collects all the most expensive things that you can imagine.
And cheap stuff too.
Lego, Macross stuff, lightsaber, Star Wars, comic stuff. Like his collection is ridiculous. So.
It's too much. It really is too much.
All right. Well, Ron, thanks for joining us. He's a newcomer, but like I said, he collects everything. So hopefully he'll start joining some of these other ones. All right, Anthony, returning for I think his third Chatterday. Why don't you say hi to the folks and reintroduce yourselves for the people who are just joining us and don't know you yet?
Hey, what's up? I'm Anthony. I'm a nerd by trade. Professionally, I'm a nerd in my private life too. Collect comic books, Transformers, obviously, Lego collections. Started to pick up these G.I. Joes and these Marvel Legends. Have several Marvel statues. I started with Bowen Designs. Now that they're out of business, and they've been out of business for a while, transitioning over to Sideshow and Iron Studios and things like that. So my hands are in everything. My wife wishes packages wouldn't show up every day of the week, but when you pre-order so much stuff, it just kind of comes nonstop.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're all three of us are probably at the point where we collect so many different things that you get a box and you're like, what did I order? You're like, oh yeah, I forgot. I literally got a box today. My wife was like, there's a box in the garage for you. I was like, I don't think.
Well, you also get pallets of stuff, man, from Eddie. So.
Oh yeah, but that's only con season. That's only con season. The one thing I am expecting very soon is the Blitzway Voltron, though, so I'm super excited about that one.
I saw that. It's $700, right?
It's something like that. Something like that.
Speaking of Voltron, I just sold my Lego Voltron a couple of weeks ago.
Really? Oh yep. Man! All right. Well, save that because there's a segment where we're probably going to get to talk about that. So, all right, everyone. Thanks for the people who are here. T-Man978, always a regular, one of my good YouTube buddies. True Star Screamer, again, another great one. Both of them are on Figure Action Podcast. If you're not on that, definitely check out their YouTube channel. They're on every Thursday. Well, most Thursdays. I was trying to catch them this Thursday, and they all called it off. So, but thanks for joining. Anybody else who's on, we're doing it live, so go join the chat. We're also going to be doing some fun stuff, as usual. We'll be doing this or that in the poll section of the chat, so just keep up to date. Robot Show Tunes, welcome. He's a regular. And then T-Man said, "Ew, Lego." Man, this guy. And the True Star Screamer, if you haven't been part of Figure Action Podcast, he always starts off with a dad joke. So he said, "Tried to get into the Lego fandom. It all went to pieces." Wah, wah. All right. So with that, we'll continue on to our first segment. Actually, we're going to start off with story time. So this is kind of a newer one, but the reason I'm want to do story time really quickly is actually just for selfish reasons. So I've been missing a lot of Chatterdays over the last month or so, and there's been good reasons for that. So I just wanted to explain that. I wasn't giving up on Chatterday. I love Chatterday. It's my favorite thing that I've done on this channel, I think, ever. So Chatterday, I think on the end of July, ended up being my son's birthday. So totally forgot that. So we had to cancel that. Then the next week, I think was like TFCon. So I was like, oh, I can't do a TFCon week. And then the 2 subsequent weeks, my mother ended up having health issues and having to go into the hospital. So I had to make 2 subsequent trips down there. So that's why definitely not giving up on it. And we're going to come back strong, get back on track here. So very quick story time, really about why Chatterday has been on hiatus. But we're going to be back. And as we'll talk about next, we'll be doing a return to form with Chatterday Jeopardy, which will be in 2 weeks' time. All right, so very quick story time there. But our favorite, this is the fan favorite segment, the staple. We always have this or that. So for those of you who are new to Chatterday, this or that is a segment that we do, and then you guys can participate as well. But we do a comparison of 2 or sometimes 3 different things about the topic. So today's topic is obviously Lego. And you'll have to come on one side of the fence or not. So you'll either have to pick this or that, and then we'll kind of explain why we chose this or that. Usually they're kind of tough decisions, and there's no fence sitting. You got to pick one or the other. And like I said, it's a fan favorite because we also run this in the chat itself. So in the chat, if you're joining us live, you'll see this or that show up with the options, and then you can vote as well. All right. All right, so the first one up for Chatterday. Hey, 3 live stream. Hey, Dusty Shells. Let's go ahead and get started with this or that. The first this or that, and again, I will be typing this into the chat on the live poll so you can participate. So, Battle of the Non-Lego. All right, so these are not true Lego, but Lego-like competition. So you have to choose one or the other. So if you had to choose, would you pick Creo as your Lego stand-in or Mega Constructs? All right, so let me give me a second, and we'll start off with Ron. And you have to vote which one. And here you go. I've added that in the chat now, so cast your vote there.
I'd say Mega Construct because my experiences with Creo weren't that great. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love that they, did Transformers and I think G.I. Joe too, right? But to be honest, I actually haven't owned any Mega Constructs, but just from what I've actually held in hand and played with, like Creo was not very impressive for me in terms of like, I guess, plastic feel and how everything gets put together. But at least, with Mega Construct, I feel like they have a lot more licenses, so that's why I would give them the edge. But to be honest, perfectly honest, I've never, messed with Mega Construct before, so I don't know what they're like in hand. But at least I know I was not impressed with Creo at all, so I would have to go with Mega Construct on that.
Okay, all right, one for Mega Constructs. What about you, Anthony?
I think I'm going to go Mega Constructs too. We played with their Pokemon. My kids built some of their Pokemon, and they're fun. We've got a couple of Squirtles running around here, a couple of Pikachus floating around here, and some Eevees. So I think we got our niece the Eevee box set of all of his or we say her various evolutions. So.
Yeah.
Did Mega Constructs do those little alien ones too, and the Halo ones?
I think they did Halo. I don't remember Alien.
Yeah, I think they did Halo.
because I want to say that they did the Xenomorph ones too for Aliens, and that by default just makes them better. So
Well, I'm going to come down on the side of Mega Constructs too. So I've definitely collected Creo with my kids because they had the Transformers license for a while, and my son in particular was into Lego and Creo at the time, so we were buying that at Toys R Us and stuff. But yeah, they were really janky. And then one thing I like, as you can see here with the Castle Grayskull one that they have, I actually like that they have like minifigures that are not just the block ones. Like when you played with a Creo Optimus that was like the Lego figure, it just looked really dumb, right? Like it just looked like a Lego person painted with a helmet.
it
But
felt
like,
cheap too.
was that? Yeah,
It felt
yeah,
cheap.
yeah.
Their plastic quality isn't the same. Like of the three, right? Lego, Creo, and Mega Constructs, by far theirs is the worst.
Hey Ron, T-Man did say that they did do the Xenomorph, and he has it.
Right, because I want to say, like, I was like, that was an awesome idea. Like, I'm a huge Xenomorph fan, so I'm like, that, you know, every time I see one, I'm like, oh, this is a great idea. So that's why I remember I was like, was it them that did it, or was it? Isn't there another brand out there that does like brick style? I can't remember what that name was called, but I don't know. I think it was Mega. I can't remember what that third brand was called, but it's another brand of like Lego style kits and stuff like that.
All right. Well, it seems like we all came on the side. I didn't see a single person who said Creo. T-Man did point out that Creo is dead. That's not the point. It's the point. Well, clearly they weren't good enough to survive, so maybe that is the point. We actually will close the poll, and we had 80% of the folks say that they agree with us. Mega Constructs all day. So whoever their Creo person is, clearly you're on the minority side. All right. So that's first one for this or that. Next one coming up is, if you had to choose, would you rather do a Firewalk over Kohl's or a Firewalk on Lego? So Anthony, I'm sure you stepped on your fair share of Lego. Would you do Firewalk or Lego Walk?
Lego Walk by far. Because if I walk on fire and I burn my feet, I might not be able to walk for a really long time. With Legos, they'll hurt for a little bit, but they'll heal. Also, if I get mad, I can pick them up and throw them across the room. I can't do that with some burning coals.
All right, that's very logical. All right, what about you, Ron?
Are we talking how fast can we walk?
I'm not putting any restrictions on it. I feel like that's a strategy though, right? With the cold.
I see, like, if you're telling me if I could run across, like, I think I would choose fire holes over the Lego. Just because, you know, if I can run across, then there might be enough time where, like, hey, the heat doesn't really hit the bottom of your feet, you know, that quickly. Then if you run across or sprint across, maybe it's a better idea. So I'll go with the fire.
That's funny because that's exactly where I was coming from. Because people say as long as you're like keep it speedy, you got what is that thing called? I don't know if it's the same scientific term for when it's heat, but like when you have extreme cold temperatures, like liquid nitrogen, like you can pour it on your skin and it just like rolls off because of the Leidenfrost effect. I think that's what it's called. The temperature differential so high that it actually has like air barrier that's caused. So I think it's a very similar effect. As long as you're speedy, you can get through it. And that's the thing, right? I think you can speed walk across the coals and be okay. But no matter what speed you get across on Lego, that shit hurts so bad. Like slow, fast, like step on it hard, step on it soft. Like there's no way around it. I got to go Firewalk here.
And with a 5-year-old girl getting into Lego right now, like, yeah, the Lego part happens more often than not. So yeah.
No. Oh yeah, the surprise factor. It's not like you're going to randomly run across coals.
Right. Life. You know, in the middle of the night, you aren't stepping on coals in a dark room.
Let's see what other people say. Oh, Dusty Shell says coals can be gained. Walk slow and evenly. What? Slow and evenly? I don't know. That seems counterintuitive to me. He said Firewalk is Daggeranus. Daggeranus says Firewalk as well. And then True Star Schemer says, at least after the Firewalk, you can grill later. All right, let me close down this poll. Let's see here. And again, thanks for the folks who made it today. I know we don't have a lot of folks. I gave no heads up again. But luckily, Anthony came in a pinch earlier today or yesterday, so I was able to schedule that. So 50-50. People were saying 50-50. They I think that says enough about the dangers of Lego that people will be 50-50 against burning hot coals. All right. And I think this might be the last one. Maybe I did another one. Okay. All right. So this is an interesting one just because I think it's especially for us, all of us have kids. Anthony, how old are your two kids?
3 and 7.
3 and 7. So I think your 7-year-old, you're going to probably start experiencing this if you haven't already. I'm sure Ron has, and I know my kids are. But Lego versus Minecraft. I feel like Minecraft, the new generation Lego. My kids are always on that. So, all right, Ron.
See, with Dylan, the 10 years old, right?
Mm-hmm.
See, he's got both best of both worlds now. He's got Lego and Minecraft combined.
I know, but you got to pick one or the other.
They have Lego Minecraft sets.
Yeah, so how? I mean, like it's how do I choose one when it's the whole combination of the two already happened?
No, I mean, as I'm saying, especially for us being parents, what do you think is like the more popular thing nowadays for kids to build with, right? To build with Lego or Minecraft?
Well, isn't Minecraft a game? Like a video
Minecraft's game? Yeah.
Oh, so you're saying like from a video game standpoint?
No, not just from, but I mean, like, we grew up, we didn't have the video games where we could we did, but not as, as in depth as Minecraft, where instead of physically building, a city or something like that, you just go into Minecraft and you just throw bricks down. You can switch lava on, you can have switches. It gets like so deep in there, right? So,
I mean, we'll be dating ourselves by saying this, but SimCity is what like the closest thing that we had, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So
at least those weren't blocks though. Like Minecraft, you actually literally build with blocks.
See, it's hard because I can only base this off of my 10-year-old son's, and he's pretty much it's a toss up between the two really for him. But like for me, I would rather him play with Lego than Minecraft, just because like I don't want him to use a device 24/7. So I'd rather him like be use physical bricks than digital version, I guess. So I would have to say Lego.
All right, going old school, physical. All right, Anthony, what about you? Is your 7-year-old into Minecraft?
So he watches, like all kids, he watches YouTube videos of other kids playing Minecraft. We've offered to get him the game, but he has no interest in them. So, so I'm gonna say Lego. At least at this point, he's not into it, but he's going into the 2nd grade. So maybe as he gets into school and his friends start playing it, maybe he'll play it. But right now, he'd just rather watch people play Minecraft and run around than for him to build something himself. But I think that's just a function of his generation is they watch other people do stuff rather than do it themselves, because he'll watch YouTube of some channel called Kid City, and it's a father and a son, and they play video games all day. And we have those same games, and I'm like, do you want to play it? And he's like, no. So, it's just kind of wild that they'd rather watch people experience stuff than experience it themselves.
That's like that Kinder Egg opening thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that when I first saw it.
Well, I mean, for me, I think it's very interesting because for my son who is older, he's 12 now. He's definitely gonna say Minecraft. Like we just sent both kids, my 7-year-old and my 12-year-old, to a coding camp, like a summer camp. It was just 1 week, and then it was the special was Minecraft coding. And so, I mean, they're way more into that now. My son was very much into Lego before, but now he like never touches them. My daughter has no interest in them when we go shopping. They don't look at that at all. But like you said, they kind of got into it more from watching, and now that they're a little bit older, they play a lot more, and they're playing with each other. And I thought the age gap would be too big for them to really enjoy playing with each other, but they play with each other all the time, and they have like the whole battle stuff. So I think generationally, I think Minecraft definitely is the Lego of our times, but I hope Lego, the physical stuff, doesn't go the way of the dinosaur, because
I don't think so. Lego's here to stay.
I was going to say adult collectors are taking back over.
Yeah.
There was a CNN special about adult collectors coming back to Lego, especially during the pandemic. For some reason, I think it's because of that TV show that was on, and people rediscovered their love and affection for Lego. And so you see adults building all kinds of crazy stuff. And then,
and to add to that, I think a lot of it is because, the previous generations, like our grandparents, like they did puzzles to kill time, right? As but for us, like, we had access to Lego. So I guess our generation's puzzles are Lego, and it's a lot more fun.
Yeah. Well, I think also the fact that like it's almost like therapeutic, right? Like there's a lot of adult kind of things that they're trying to get people more sensitive about their mental health and de-stressing. Like, there's a whole like industry for like adult coloring books now that is apparently a big thing. But I think Lego is that kind of same thing. It's very therapeutic. It's childlike, but it's not too stressful on the mind. I
think the therapeutic part depends on what set. Because when I built the Batman Ultimate Collector Series stuff, like it gets hard towards the end. It gets anti-therapeutic because everything's in black, dark gray, or some variation of that. And when you're staring at the instruction booklets, everything starts blurring. And I had a bit of a difficult time towards the end on those sets.
Oh yeah. But that to say though that the Lego instructions, I feel like I don't remember how the Lego instructions looked like when we were kids, but the ones they have now are just like so like scientific. It's just kind of crazy how detailed they are, and I think they created like a whole. I think they created a whole application specifically for that, right?
Yeah, I mean, there was a time like maybe like I don't know, maybe 6 years ago or something. There was I don't know if the program still exists, but Lego had an official like you invent your own sets program, and you basically, I might have the files still because like it was during when the Galaxy Squad line was out. It was that space themed set or line where like it was like cool like spaceships and stuff like that, and bug like aliens, and you could go in and you can like design your own like sets, and then you just I guess go to lego.com and buy the parts and you can assemble those things. So there are programs out there that have like things that if you're an adult or whatever the case may be, like if you want to make your own set, you can make that happen. And yeah, I remember I made it was really well designed because it was really user friendly too. And you can like do all move the whole thing around, and if you have moving parts on it, it'll show you how it moves and everything.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
and my kids are using like the app now, the Lego app instructions instead of like the booklets. Like I'm still going through pages, but I saw them using like the app and stuff like that. I was like, what?
Yeah, the new Lego sets, at least I know definitely for sure the Mario sets, a lot of their instructions don't even, I mean, a lot of the sets don't come with the physical instructions. Everything's online.
Yeah, they started that with the Mario set, but also there's a new set they just released. I still get all the Lego emails because for the holidays we buy our kids the various holiday sets that pop up. They're digital instructions only, and so you can now store all of your sets online. You can plug in the 4-digit number or 5-digit number depending on the series, and then you can basically curate your collection online and say these are the sets I have, and then the instructions will sit there in your account.
Oh, that's
So
sick. Because like as collectors, a lot of adult collectors, that's one of their issues, right? Just like trying to catalog all the things that they have. It's kind of cool that they do that. I mean, they should do that for like all toys or like adult collector toys, I guess. I mean, it seems like a no-brainer. All right, I think that was it for this or that. Let's see what else we got going on. Is there another one? Nope. But we have a new segment. It's called The More You Know. If you guys remember, this logo shows your
Again, dating ourselves.
The fact that this is the highest resolution GIF I could get of this is indicative of how old this is. So this is not really a segment where we participate, but I think we might have an opportunity to participate. But I thought there were some things about the hobby that different hobbies that people might want to know, like fun facts and stuff like that. So this is something new, something we'll share. I've done a little bit of research on some cool facts that I think you might be interested in about Lego. So without further ado, and if you guys have some fun facts about Lego, I'm sure you guys have something. Go ahead and chime in. But let's go ahead and start. So the name Lego comes from the Danish word. If you guys didn't know, Lego is a Danish company for, I don't even know how to pronounce this, Legot, probably, which means play well. So there you go.
And they are headquartered in Billund, Denmark, I believe. Mm-hmm. And they offer tours if you go.
Yeah, isn't that whole city basically just a Lego town? Like everybody works at the factory or some way or another?
Yeah. Yes, they have a Lego hotel, all kinds of stuff. My dad, my stepmother, and a couple of my sisters live in Germany, and we meant to make it out there the last time I was there to take the Eurorail up there. But it's definitely on my to-do list the next time I'm in Europe visiting my family.
Oh, nice. All right. Second one up. Lego is the largest toy manufacturer with an annual revenue of approximately $8.5 billion US. So I would have always thought that maybe it was like Hasbro or I don't know. I don't even know other company. But I was surprised to find out that Lego holds the crown as quote unquote the largest toy manufacturer by revenue. And I think by also like units sold, which we'll get into in a second.
I mean, just because it's is global and universal, right? There's no cartoon really attached to it. Well, I mean, there is now, but before, you didn't have to know a language to build Lego, or a different language to build Lego, right? Like everything was, Asia had their sets in whatever language they had there, and so on. So it's almost like how soccer/football is a global sport, like everybody, it just translated well on a global platform.
Yeah. So it's so interesting. But a lot of people, especially in the U.S., are so shocked to find out that soccer is the most.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So next fun fact we have for the more you know is 7 Lego sets are sold every second, which. I mean, I guess that makes sense if you're selling $8.5 billion worth of units, but 7 Lego sets are sold every second.
And you can, I would imagine, I want to know like how much more that number would be if like Lego stores were much more of an international presence too.
I don't know. Yeah, you're right. Because like, I almost never, like, when did they start doing their own storefronts? I hadn't been to one.
It's got to be in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember a Lego. There wasn't a Lego set, I guess, before the year 2000 that I can recall, because there definitely wasn't one when we were kids. We're all around the same age.
Yeah.
And so I remember having to send away, in the Legoland catalog and things like that.
Well, yeah. Also, there's I mean, like, these Lego stores now, especially in the flagship stores, they're almost more like tourist spots than actual stores. We the last trip I went to NYC, New York City, I went to the new Fifth Avenue flagship store. That thing's amazing. If you guys ever get the chance to go up there and visit the new flagship store in New York, that thing is just so well done. And they have a Lego minifigure lab in there. So you basically slap your face on a minifigure, or a minifigure version of your face on a minifigure, I guess.
Yeah.
And then like before pandemic, we were over in London, and the flagship store in London. It's just like it's like the New York City one, where it's like it's so big. It's almost like going there just to see it as like a tourist destination.
Yeah,
They have all the city specific like the I guess displays there. So like it's like when we had our kids, I found out about the Lego Passport, which is free. You go to any store, you ask for the Lego Passport. Every store you go to before it was actual physical stamps, but now they switched over to stickers, I think. But like so, ever since then, every time we go to a city, we're like, oh, is there a Lego store here? Let's go get our Lego passport stamped. And so like both my kids have their little Lego passports filled with like stamps from stores all over the places that we've been to.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, we went to the Legoland at TIFF. Well, because we've gone to TIFFCon Toronto a bunch of times, a couple times with my kids in tow, and they have a Legoland there, so we've been to that one a couple times. Very cool. Just for this fun fact, Matt says it feels like I buy 2 out of those 7 that are sold every second. And he also said previously, if you guys didn't see it, Lego is my and my wife's main hobby together, which is sweet. I definitely do with my kids, but my wife has not gotten into it at all. So this is a comment I also wanted to bring up. Lego is an investment, and this is.
Oh man, speaking of which, like I've been selling a lot of my sets, and like they definitely are an investment.
Well, one of my buddies who just got into Lego when he started having when he had his kid come of age, he was doing research into it, and he said at one point, and this was before COVID, it was something like he said something like at some point Lego was a better investment than gold because it was appreciating faster than gold. I was like, no way, but
that's true.
Really?
Again, there was a special on it right after the holidays that Lego is well worth the investment, the resale value on the various sets.
Mm-hmm.
For example, Scooby-Doo is becoming popular again, or even Ninja Turtles are becoming popular again. And the sets that they did, they're going for literally hundreds of dollars for like a $50 or $60 set.
Yeah, I mean, is it specifically like licensed ones or like
it depends?
I can understand Star Wars or Harry Potter, but like
it also depends on like minifigures. What minifigures comes with that set too? Like a lot of the value is in the minifigures themselves. For whatever reason, I guess like some are more rare than others.
Yeah, wasn't there? I remember there was like a running change in some Star Wars. What was it? It was like a ship, and it had like a generic guy. I don't think he was like a main character, but then they switched up that pilot from like I think maybe a black guy to a generic Lego minifigure, and so that first run was super popular just because of that first run minifig.
The first Ultimate Collector's Batman Tumbler, that Heath Ledger Joker minifigure alone was worth possibly more than the set itself at one point.
Oof.
Just because that was the only way you could get that Heath Ledger Joker minifigure. Which
that makes sense.
But yeah, like I remember when they first got their Batman license, I bought the whole entire line. I sold it a couple of years ago for like I can't even remember how much more I sold it for what I bought it for.
Scalper. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, I'm not. I'm just putting stuff out there, and if they're willing to hand me that much money for them, I'm not gonna stop them. So.
Hey, Xenomorphs is a regular too. You missed it. We actually had Creo as one of the this or that. So if you go rewind, it was the first this or that we did. It was Creo versus Mega Constructs, the battle of the wannabe Legos. But Creo unfortunately went down to Mega Constructs pretty easily. All right. What's this comment from Matt? The Indiana Jones one for the 2008 is really pricey now. It might drop a bit when Indy 5 comes out.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, they have a Pirates of the Caribbean ship, or
I have all those. I definitely have all of those.
Those are super pricey. I've seen those go for 4 figures.
Yeah, that's one of I have a thing for ships, so that pirates theme was right up my alley.
Oh, nice.
I'm still very bitter that they never released the Flying Dutchman, though.
Well, maybe at some point. Who knows?
I was going to say I don't know anything about the movie. I just every now and then we'll just go searching for sets on eBay or something like that, and we'll sort by price high to low with my son so he can see how expensive they are.
Yeah, I don't. I need to look at how much the big shield helicarrier is now, because I was thinking like, do I really want to keep this or? But yeah, the first the ultimate. I guess I'm not even sure if it's ultimate collectors, but the big helicarrier.
Yes.
That if you can buy the separate motor for and have all the engines spin, and the LED set inside too. It was all like part of it was like an extension pack of the official.
Man, I didn't even know that. All right, so let's keep going with the more you know. Fun fact number 4: over 36,000 Lego bricks are molded every minute. So another crazy number.
Aren't they all done by robots too? Like, isn't like the whole plant like 95% automated at this point? I think I've heard.
Yeah. I mean, makes sense. Like, but we'll just roll right into the last one because the last one has to do with factories as well. Lego brick molds are retired after producing somewhere in the neighborhood of 120 million brick. So really quickly, there's a photo of one of the 2x3 bricks. It says retired Lego mold, retired after making 120 million Lego bricks, which is ridiculous to think that they make that many Lego brick of just this type, right? And you got to imagine all the molds. Oh, that was the other thing I was going to say. Don't a lot of collectors value or add value to sets based on the number of unique parts or new parts that are unique to that set?
Maybe in the past, but I want to feel like lately, like there's just so many new parts coming out with like the new sets that maybe that's gonna go down. I'm not sure, but like I can't remember what the last set that my son built, but I'm like, I've never seen like a bunch of these parts before. So
I think they're finagling it a lot more, right? When we used to make Lego helicopters and things like that, you had to make the hole.
Yeah.
And now the hole is just like one piece.
My wife calls that cheating.
Yeah, or I might even the cars. One of the things that I guess bothers me about the newer Lego sets is in the past all the cars had doors and they made sure to put a door on each one, and now some of the ones don't have doors, and so if you didn't collect as a kid, you wouldn't know any better. But now when you look at it, it's like, oh, they're cutting corners, and you're paying more for the same amount of pieces, but you get less.
Yeah, it does feel like you're taking a bit of the, I guess, imagination value away from it, right? When we were growing up, if you wanted to make something work, you have to work with the parts that you have. Exactly. But nowadays, with these new parts, I'm like, oh, you don't even have to do that anymore. Like, here's a part for that.
Yeah.
So that was one of the things that my wife was not impressed with, like newer Lego sets. Like, it took away some of the problem solving, I guess, that older sets had to do.
All right. Well, that was it for the more you know. But I did want to see if you guys had any other quick fun facts for the audience that you want to share. I think you guys already added a couple already. No? All right. Well, I wanted to do a new segment because, again, we did take that long hiatus. And I explained that earlier if you missed that segment. Explain why we were on a bit of a hiatus. But we're back. We're going to keep going strong. All right. Next segment is highly recommended. So as Lego collectors, if you guys don't remember, this segment is about asking the people on the guests here what if they had to recommend one thing of this collection that people can get into. So in this case, like a Lego set, what set would you recommend? So
is price an issue?
Well, no, you got to be considerate of the price too, right? But maybe your recommendation is just for hardcore collectors. That's okay too. I'm not. There's no hard and fast rules here. But if you had to recommend a Lego set, which one would you recommend and why?
Man, that's a hard one.
Yeah.
That's really hard. I have to think about this one.
Anything, you got one off the top of your head yet?
So I'm going to say the Lego Speed Champion set.
That was a good one.
Because for all of the Transformers fans who are in here, they're making a lot of the Transformers vehicles as Lego sets. So, you can scratch that itch and be like, hey, I have a Lego car version of Sideswipe, because they just made that one. That one is constantly selling out. And if you look on Amazon, you can find the bootleg versions of it in the various colors. So it's like, hey, I've got Sunstreaker, I've got Sideswipe.
This guy right here.
Yep, that's the one.
Right here.
Nice. That's a good recommendation for this audience, being Transformers fans.
And I have to say, like, what I love about this series is the fact that it doesn't take forever to build.
Right.
It takes like maybe half an hour at most. And yet, like, the build itself, some of the engineering that was put into it on how panels work and fit together to get this, to look, if you look at the tail lights here, how do you get the angles on the tail light to be convincingly, this is like the exact car, right? So there's a lot of engineering design that went into this line. And what I appreciated about it was, like, there's curves on the line that I would have never thought would be possible, so especially on a scale like this small. So yeah, like that, this is a great line to recommend, just because you get a convincing looking car and you have fun, and it doesn't take forever to build. Because a lot of, like, the bigger sets that I have, the problem is, like, yeah, it looks cool in the end, but the journey starts getting a little grueling towards, like, hour or day 4, of trying to build it. So, but yeah, that's a great recommendation. I definitely agree with that.
So you're going to go with that too? You don't have a different one?
No, I'm still thinking.
All right. Well,
since that suggestion was a little a simpler, smaller scale one, I'll go on the bigger, more expensive side, I guess, and say, let's see, if you can afford the line, like some of the UC, the Ultimate Collector Series stuff is amazing. Specifically, I'm not sure if I would recommend.
Can you say hi?
Hi.
I want to say, like, from a impressive scale wise, the Harry Potter Hogwarts Castle was one of the most amazing builds I've ever done. The amount of detail that went into it was phenomenal. And it's definitely geared towards, like, your adult, builder, I guess. And to be able to put something that massive into a manageable Lego scale was very impressive in my mind.
that's a good one.
Because other than that, then it would be like, that Ecto-1 build was. Like, there's so many good sets out there.
Hey, you gotta pick one, man. Come on, you're on, like, your 5th recommendation. Well, I'm leaving you at Harry Potter.
All right, Harry. That one. If you want something huge, massive, and detailed, that's the biggest one I have right now. I never got the other stuff, like the Roman Colosseum. I felt like I don't have enough interest in that. The Millennium Falcon, I just don't have space for it, so I never bought it. So yeah, like, out of the ones that I own right now, the most detailed and massively intricate one would probably be the Hogwarts Castle.
All right. For me, it was kind of funny because Ron started off this Chatterday saying that he just recently sold his Voltron, and that was the one I was going to recommend for us Transformer nerds, just because, well, I do have the Optimus Prime, and I still haven't built it. Just been super busy so I haven't built it, so I can't recommend that one. But I did build a Voltron one, and I thought that was a really fun build, and, like, the fact that they can transform between the lions and the combined mode, I thought that was really cleverly engineered. how they did that and made it stable. And also because it's a giant robot. We all love robots, so I think it's a very easy transition. Maybe I'll change that recommendation to Optimus Prime after I built him, but I want, obviously, for something I'm recommending, I wanted to have done it myself. So the Voltron one is pretty expensive. How did you end up selling for a lot, Rohan?
How much did I sell that for? I sold it for, I can't remember, but I definitely sold it more for what I got, the MSRP. What's the MSRP on that?
I don't know. I don't even remember. Like probably like 250, 300.
Yeah, I was going to say it was like $200.
I think I got like 400 for it.
God damn! All right, I don't know if I like it that much. Maybe I'll go sell that too.
Well, I mean, it's discontinued, so like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like once the set goes to discontinue, like you see a price jump, and if you're sort of on the fence of keeping a set, like that's sort of the time frame you look for. Is you look for that, when is a set going to be discontinued, and if you're thinking about selling, that's the best time to sell.
Yeah,
I was going to say, I see the Spider-Man set, the Daily Bugle that I have up behind me. People are buying that for $500 and $600 just because of the amount of figures that it comes with and all the unique figures.
Yeah,
and the same thing with that pirate set that I have next to it. A ton of people, I guess, really like that because it turns into a boat, but it also turns into an island, kind of like the 3-in-1 stuff.
Yeah, that was the reissued one, right? Like
that was an awesome set. I have that one, and that was really fun to build. Like the fact that you can take it apart and make it into like a basically a town.
Yeah.
And then take it apart and put it back together into a ship. That was one of very well designed sets.
Right? Isn't that an updated set of a set that they did a long time ago?
Yeah, they had a set that was just the ship, and then they took that idea and made it better, and then made it come apart and made it into like basically a little pirate town type deal.
Yeah, I remember seeing that when there was a big deal when they did it, because I was also going to say that really anything from like the Lego Ideas line, like there's so much across, because it's like an innovation contest from fans creating stuff. Just seeing like the stuff that comes out of there is so interesting. I'm sure if people just go to like the Lego Ideas page, you'll find something that is piques their interest, because it's across all sorts of hobbies and stuff like that. I remember I got the book one, the storybook one, the book. That was crazy the first time I saw it.
I want the ship in the bottle. I should have bought the ship in a bottle.
I sold that one.
I really should have. I kept seeing it on sale, and it was kind of right before my kids kind of got into it, and so I kept passing because I was like, do I really want to get
that was a neat set. That was a neat build, but I just had no place for it, so I sold it.
All right. Well, that's it for highly recommended. So you heard it here from our guest, Razerwire. Ron said he recommends Harry Potter's Hogwarts Castle. Anthony recommends the Speed Champions for all us Transformers alt mode fans. I know, what's it called? Sony TM Reviews. He's a really big car guy. So I'm surprised that he's not into that. He's a really big car guy. I think that's his like second passion behind Transformers. Like a joint one.
Speaking about that Speed Champions, the two next releases are the James Bond Aston Martin, and they're doing the Fast and Furious Dom's Challenger for the Speed Champions in that scale.
Nice. All right. Well, True says he wants the Megazord and Dragonzord, which I would always. I'm a huge Power Rangers fan, the original series, so I will always collect things Megazord, Dragonzord, so I'd be in for that. All right.
That's what Hasbro needs to crowdsource is a actual good version of those Zords as opposed to the dinky versions they keep putting out.
Yeah. Well, actually, we kind of hit on this already, because it's funny that you guys were talking about it, but the hit list is kind of a similar list, but it's the list that we want to check off ourselves as collectors. So Anthony, you already said that you missed out on the ship in a bottle. Is that the one that you wish you could have gotten or still want to get? Actually, is there a set that you want to get next?
I'll go with the ship in a bottle. They just released a new what is it, a roller coaster that has like it'll go upside down and backwards and all kinds of crazy stuff, and it's motorized, so it'll take the people up and then take them all the way down and around and all that goofy stuff. And it looks pretty dope.
That's a good one. Oh, really quickly, I want to highlight Matt's comment. He says some of the old, no, not this one. He for the recommendations, he recommends Lego Creator City because they're modular and then they get pieced together. Those are really cool. I saw them for the first time at a friend's house and thought that was really neat that you can literally build your own town the way you want.
But you need like a pretty much like a garage space for that, or like a whole entire basement for that, right? Like that's why I never dared touch the modular stuff, because I figured if I get one, oh dear lord, like how much space is this going to take up?
Wait, but yeah, couldn't you do it as like just a shelf, like a block, like a block shelf kind of thing?
I don't know, man. Because when I grew up in California, I remember there was this guy that lived in our neighborhood that had like his garage was a whole entire model train set on a table. And I've always imagined, like, if I did the modular Lego stuff, like the city modular stuff, it would have to be in the garage, and it have to be that kind of setup where it's just on the table and like it's just this massive like modular city.
Like Will Ferrell from the Lego Movie?
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much like that.
Nice.
That would be the only way I feel like I'm doing that line justice, is if I just go all out with that. And I'm like, that's just too much for me. I couldn't do that.
Those sets have gotten super, super expensive and hard to collect once they go out. The same thing, actually, the most expensive sets to buy are the Christmas sets. Yeah. So when you see them, you have to snap them up, because after that, you're paying 4 and 5 times retail. Because everyone thinks for the holidays, hey, we'll build some cutesy Lego stuff to put on the mantle. And so we were looking at some Santa sets or like that had come out in the past. And it was, oh, yeah, we just kind of see these browsing on Amazon, Lego Christmas, blah, blah, blah. And then we click on it and it's, hey, this is $600 for that Santa's Village. And, like it's all just ridiculous.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I have that, similarly for that, the seasonal stuff, the Lunar New Year sets that we always get. We just see the prices go up and up and up on those.
All right, Ron. So what's on your hit list? What's next on your must-buy Lego sets?
Next on my must-buy? Are we talking about like previous releases or just anything?
No, just whatever is on your hit list. What's next that you really want to get?
Out of the things that I've seen so far, I mean, like I don't really have anything on the past things that I regret missing on. One thing would be, not that I would ever start buying Star Wars again, but the Star Wars Ghost and what was it called? The Phantom? No, was it called the Phantom? The Rebels ship. Was it the Rebels ship? It was like it had like a detachable piece. Anyway, but that's discontinued. There's no way for me to find that. But I know right now I'm sort of like in a I don't know what is next on my list for Lego, but I guess from the news that I've seen so far, it would just be the continuation of the Speed Champions. I would want that, Bond, Aston Martin, and the Dom's Challenger in that Speed Champion scale.
Well, that's a good one. Yeah, for me, I haven't been collecting a lot of Lego, but the one I do regret, because I was watching it a lot when it was being announced, but I didn't get it, was the Batmobile. I also like the Batwing too, just because you can hang it. But I think I'd go with the Batmobile. I regret not picking that up. I remember I saw it at your place. I think, Ron.
The 89 one.
Yeah, the 89 one.
Yeah, I have that. I have the first Tumbler, and I have a Batwing for the Batman set.
Yeah, I regret not having picked up the Batman 89 Batmobile. Like the Tumbler's cool, but for me, that will always be the Batmobile, unless they come out with a Batman the Animated Series Batmobile.
Yes.
That probably will happen sooner or later.
Yeah, like that is probably my definitive Batmobile. Oh, the more you know. Bonus one for Batman. Did you know in the Batman Beyond, the limousine that Bruce Wayne drives or has in that is actually a flipped over version of the Batman the Animated Series Batmobile.
Huh.
Yeah, if you go check it out, it's just flipped upside down. All right, so that's it for the hit list. I'll update that later. All right, so that was it for our segments today. We're coming in just at an hour, but I do like to do comment time. Comment time is just where we take a look at some of the comments that I've seen since our last video. I always like to highlight those just because I do read all the comments and try to respond to all of them. So I try to pick out the ones that piqued my interest over the last couple of weeks. All right, so the first one was from Vincent Tominello, who said, excellent review, underrated channel. And I picked it out just because I said, thanks for leaving suck an awesome comment. And then I realized when I was looking at comments that I made a typo of saying suck instead of such. So I meant to say for leaving such an awesome comment. So thank you, Vincent, if you're watching this one. And then I think he left that for the Thesaurus, MNC Thesaurus review. And the other one was Matt Cutter. He's also a local. I haven't seen him at our meetups in quite a while, but he put the answer slide. So this is in reference to Jeopardy, Chatterday Jeopardy. One of the categories that I came up with was called third-party poopers, like party poopers, but third party, which was I took pictures of random third-party Transformer figure butts, and people had to guess which figure it was. So that's what he's talking about. He says the answer slide for third-party poopers should include the toy looking back over its shoulder at the camera. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Matt for that one. I thought that was a funny one. Where are you taking us, Ron?
I'm trying to remember, looking at all the sets that I have on display.
Hold on, let me zoom in on you.
And actually, I forgot. This is one of my all-time favorites. Is the haunted house.
Oh yeah, the haunted house ones are really cool.
That was from the Monster Fighters line. But yeah, like here's all the ships I have on the top row.
Oh, the DeLorean.
Oh yeah, the DeLorean right there.
Ecto
one next to it. But yeah, the helicarrier. This is the helicarrier I was talking about. The big one.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You don't have the expansion set with the motors and lights?
Yeah, no, the motor's in there. I just don't have batteries in there to turn it on right now.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, and there's the Batmobile and the Tumbler. Right.
Yeah, the Batmobile, the Batwing, Tumbler. This is the first Tumbler. I never went and got the second one. I figured it was too similar. And this is the Hogwarts castle. The big one.
That's the
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, what's her?
Oh yeah,
Milano. The Milano.
Yeah, and the Lunar New Year sets over here. And then there's that pirate ship town thing, and then the sea cow over there. I should sell that guy. I don't know why I keep the sea cow.
Yeah. This guy, like I said, Ron collects absolutely everything seemingly. I don't even remember that section of your. We built this because my wife wanted me to have a place to store all the Lego boxes, and it turned out to be another. You already had a whole dedicated room.
Yeah, I mean,
already.
This is the other side of the room.
What, you put an extension to that room?
Yeah, it used to be just a hallway over there, and we sort of closed it off, and yeah, all the masterpiece stuff here.
Oh yeah, because I remember in the hallway that's where you put your lightsabers up.
No, the lightsabers are out here now.
Again, it's been a while since I've been to your place. Oh yeah, look at all those. Jeez. Yeah, so we'll definitely have to have you on for the Star Wars one, or just a collection.
Well, if I come on for the Marvel one, maybe I can see if Jim Lee will come on.
Oh yeah, you're related through marriage to Jim Lee, right?
Yep.
Dude, if I had Jim Lee on my channel, that would like blow up. Okay, well,
so
I'll pull this string at some point.
I was gonna say I have a confession. I know absolutely nothing about Star Wars. Never seen it, any of them, whatsoever. So when you guys start talking about that stuff, I'm like, okay. My wife got me to watch Harry Potter, and I suffered through that. Not a Harry Potter guy.
Ooh. You're about to make a lot of enemies. Not a Star Wars fan, not a Harry Potter fan.
I'm not a Harry Potter's fan. I don't have an opinion on Star Wars one way or the other because I just never watched it, and it's never been something that's appealed to me.
Well, honestly, I'm not a huge Star Wars fan either. Like, but I just keep up with it just because it's popular culture. So I watch, but I did like The Mandalorian a lot. I didn't like Boba Fett. I thought Boba Fett was pretty crap. And Obi-Wan was pretty good. But I'm also not a Harry Potter fan. Never read it, and I only made it through like a couple of the movies. They seem fine. It's just that, just like you, it's just not in my realm or like my circle of interest. It's got like most like wizardy stuff and most like medieval stuff have no part in my interest. So like I watched like the first 3 episodes of Game of Thrones and never watched the rest of that. So people are like,
Is it not like Lord of the Rings?
Nope, not a Lord of the Ring fan. No.
Hey,
Never watched.
I've seen
Never
them all.
watched
I'm
Lord of the
I'm
Rings.
just not obsessed with them. I've seen them all. Oh no!
I tried Game of Thrones, but I'm like, like this is a little. I mean, I don't know if I could sit through all of it, but I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan. Harry Potter, my wife got me into just because like she read the books and I was like, oh, why don't you read this and see what you think? And then I was like, all right, this is okay. And then like I guess I like the
world.
I like the world of Harry Potter, but I don't really care for the characters. Like I like all the magical stuff and all that stuff. It was like, oh, this is kind of neat. But then like the characters, I'm like, yeah, they're just a bunch of punk teenagers that are complaining about everything, right? Like, so yeah.
I don't know who Xenomorph is talking about. Probably all of us because we all have one super pop culture.
I was going to say I don't even nothing about Harry Potter appealed to me. He was a doofus. He grew up to be a doofus. It just never resonated with me.
Dang, harsh words. Comment if you agree or disagree with Anthony. I'm gonna have like blow up just because
it just never. I suffered through those movies. I don't see what the appeal is. Maybe because I grew into being on the other side of the equation when I grew up. Because I got good at sports, and so I'm like, yeah, that life doesn't appeal to me. So,
hold on, I gotta add him back. All right, we lost you for a second.
Yeah, I accidentally hit the back button and kicked myself out. I mean, I guess from a pop culture standpoint, like there's not really. Oh, actually, no, that's not true. I really don't care much for like Power Rangers or Toku stuff or God stuff, which might offend a lot of people. But yeah, like. The whole Power Rangers, Toku, Kamen Rider, is it pronounced Kamen Rider or whatever. Kamen Rider, like I could never get into that kind of stuff. For me, it was just always more about robots or like fantasy, like dragons, and I played a little Dungeons and Dragons in my teenage years, a bunch of RPGs and stuff. I didn't get into Warhammer and all that stuff, but generally speaking, like there's not a whole lot of pop culture stuff that I don't really care for. So
interesting. Well, again, that's why you collect everything. All right. So that's
at some point you have to prune your tree, right?
Yeah. I mean, I avoided Gundam for the longest time, and Pandemic pretty much killed that. So.
Demon says, time to wrap this shit up. Y'all bringing it down. All right, we are going to wrap it up, though. Like I said, I've already mentioned what's coming up next. So the next episode, we'll be back to Paik4L reviews, Jeopardy. We're going to have 3 new contestants. So I think this is the 3rd round. So we'll have 3 new contestants. I gotta iron out the timing of that, but we'll have new categories, returning categories. We'll have a winner for that, and I have actually gotten interest from more folks. So I might actually have a 4th round of Jeopardy and then do a winners tournament of champions or winners one with 4 contestants at the finals for a prize. But that will be in 2 weeks. So if that is 2 weeks from today, what date is that? That's going to be the 13th. So Saturday the 13th, August 13th, we'll be back unless again something happens with family emergencies or something like that. Oh no, I can't do the 13th. Crap, I forgot that's my annual beach trip. All right,
next month?
Yeah, August. Yeah, 2 weeks, and we do Chatterday every other week. And then next week, I know I got to go home for my to see my mom again. So, but maybe I'll do it next Sunday. That might work because I can't miss my beach trip. So, but I'll figure it out. I'll let you guys know. I'll give you guys more heads up than morning of notice. But thanks to all of those who joined. Thanks to those of you who are catching it on the rewind later, and especially thank you to Anthony for coming back on. Joining us again. Always great to have your opinions and whether they're hot takes or not about pop culture or about the topic at hand. So I appreciate you, Anthony.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Again, I try to catch all of these, especially when I'm not in a tornado warning and almost miss the ones I'm scheduled to be on. But this is a lot of fun. All of the people that show up, Xenomorph, True Star Screamer, Matt Drace, it was great. Your input was great as well. I'm glad that's Lego's a hobby you can share with your wife. My wife and I share in a hobby of playing video games. So, all that fun stuff.
And then Ron, one of my good friends, a local here, had to twist his arm. He was like very hesitant to get on. He was like, I don't like the way I sound. I'm like, bro, nobody likes the way they sound.
Like my biggest self-conscious thing is I hate my nasally ass voice.
You just don't have to listen to it on the rewinds. You're already here.
That's what Chad said. So yeah. But this was fun. I gotta admit. I mean, it's a nice substitute for all the meets that we're missing all this time during pandemic. So I do appreciate the invite and just talking shop. And yeah, it's nice.
Yeah. I'm glad. Clearly, even though he's a buddy of mine, he doesn't watch the channel because he clearly didn't know anything about Chatterday or any of what the format is. But I'm gonna let you off the hook since you came here.
Hey man, that daughter of mine is getting into too much to handle, and I try, man. I try.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining. Thanks again for if you guys enjoyed the Chatterdays as much as I do and as much my guests do, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. It also lets us know that you want more Chatterdays. I know it's one of the segments that's kind of different and it's not a review, but I think it's something that I really wanted to do for a long time. And as Ron said, it was an opportunity during the pandemic for us to still get to know each other, get to be closer friends with people we don't know that aren't YouTube celebrities or YouTubers out there, and get close around other things besides just Transformers. So the whole premise of that is not just to share just Transformers. It's kind of a TikTok thing where I'll do a Transformer / collecting one, and then I'll do one that's kind of off topic like wrestling or comics or like today Lego. So we want to expand our nerddom and share why you guys should expand your horizons as well. So that's why we do it. And again, it's just a lot of fun to interact live with everyone.
Henry just make everybody broke.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thanks a lot, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll be back in either a week or 2 weeks. I'll let everyone know. But that's going to be all for today. Have a good one, all.
All right, take it easy.